I was born with a limb difference, so, having a disability, you don't see people with disabilities out necessarily as often, and also being a woman, there's less of us leading. So I just, by the end of the process, I kind of thought, this is a really nice thing to be able to do and share with other people. So I guess long answer to your question is I did it because I wanted to grow in my own confidence, but now I want to share that confidence with other people.
Well, you posted an Instagram post back in the summer when you qualified, and you spoke about how you wanted to raise the representation of, who are mountain leaders. And can you just tell me a little bit more about that? Because you just spoke about your limb difference then. Why do you think it's important to show that you can do all these things even if you've got a disability?
Yeah, I think representation is really important. Since rejoining Reach as a charity for upper limb difference, and since rejoining as a member, I realised how important that representation is, because I didn't see myself in many industries growing up. I didn't see anyone with limb difference on the TV or out in the outdoors, or instructors that I kind of visited as a child. So it's just become more apparent how important that is, to see yourself in all across. Not everyone wants to be a Paralympian, not everyone will want to be a mountain leader, but to know that the option is there if you wanted it. And there were, there's parts of the mountain leader qualification that I thought I might battle with. There's rope skills that you have to deal with, but kind of we just went through it, we just worked through it and found a way, basically. Because the world is designed for two hands. It doesn't mean that someone with one hand can't do it. It just means that we have to look at it a bit differently and problem solve it when we get to it. So I think just trying to break those barriers, and for any of the Reach kids growing up to be able to go, oh, well, she's doing it, that is massive. And people that maybe have not experienced that don't understand the importance of it, but it is so important. We see Reach kids identifying that representation from a really young age. So it's it just feels like I'm carrying that, which is it's a heavy weight, but I'm quite happy to do it, and it helps with my own confidence as well, because I've not always been the most confident with my arm.
I think it's taken quite a lot for you to talk about this, hasn't it? Because in that Instagram post you wrote, it seemed like you haven't really spoken a whole lot about those feelings and wanting to be almost a role model, I guess, for what people can do. So has it felt uncomfortable to talk about it publicly?
Yeah, at times, because I did hide my arm for most of 30 years, really. I just spent summers with cardigans on, and the funny thing is growing up, everyone tells you, oh, we love you, we don't notice your arm, and that is wonderful, and that is so true, but I noticed it, and I guess I didn't know how to process that, and I didn't know how to feel that. And so when I joined Reach, I joined because I was like, oh, I want to give back to this charity, that's really great, and didn't realise how much I would get from it. So when I joined, I thought, oh wow, I was amazed at how many children are being born today with upper limb differences, bilateral differences, and I thought, maybe if I can take my jumper off, and maybe if I can show my arm, then the kids growing up today won't feel like that when they grow up. Maybe people seeing my arm will become more accustomed to it and difference, and I kind of took it upon myself to kind of be a bit of a, right, well, I need to take my jumper off today because I'm doing it for the kids, and I needed that in order to do it. And I don't always feel like it. I still might take a jumper out, and my husband will say, don't be cruel to yourself. Like, if you're not having a confident day, take a jumper out, don't leave it. But sometimes I just need that little boost to kind of remind myself why I'm doing it. But we all have different days. We're all different on where we are on this journey, and we have confident days, and that's like everyone and any. But yeah, I started talking about it more because I wanted people to know how I felt, but it was hard at first because I've never talked about it before, so people kind of maybe looked and thought, oh, you've never had an issue before, but it's not that I've not had an issue, it's because I've not spoken about it or known how to articulate how I was feeling about it. So the posts give me an outlet when I'm in that moment where I'm feeling the feeling. I can think, okay, yeah, I'm going to share this today. And then, well, people can take and leave it.